Meet the compelling narrative of the American Revolution, one of the pivotal eras in human history. We shall go into the specifics of this historic event, examining its significance and legacy, which left an enduring imprint on politics and history, from the beginnings of the colonists' dissatisfaction to the magnificent proclamation of independence and the creation of a new state. An overview of the American Revolution. Background and dissatisfaction. At the conclusion of the 18th century, the American colonists were deeply dissatisfied with Great Britain, which led to the American Revolution. Great Britain's implementation of several levies and legislation that severely restricted the colonists' economic and political freedom was one of the primary causes. Discontent building and reaction to taxes. The Sugar Act of 1764 imposed a tax on sugar, molasses, and other items with the intention of raising money for the monarch. The colonists, who perceived this measure as an infringement on their economic independence, vigorously protested the action. Subsequently, the Stamp Act of 1765 was passed, imposing taxes on a wide range of printed goods, including documents and periodicals. This exacerbated the unhappiness and sparked large-scale boycotts and protests. Growing tension and protests. Tensions between the colonies and Great Britain grew as a result of the colonists' dissatisfaction with taxes and other limitations. Protests came in many forms, including acts of civil disobedience, boycotts of British products, and speeches in public. The Boston Tea Party in 1773, where colonists threw a batch of tea into the sea to protest tea taxes, is one of the most well-known protest events. Development of political movements and ideas. The colonists' discontent influenced the political theories regarding the necessity of independence and self-governance. Through writings and speeches, prominent figures like Samuel and John Adams started aggressively promoting the concepts of freedom and democracy. The establishment of correspondence committees promoted communication among the colonies and served to unify them in their opposition to Great Britain. Declaration of Independence and War. On July 4, 1776, the American colonies formally proclaimed their desire for independence from Great Britain through the adoption of the historic Declaration of Independence. It was penned by Thomas Jefferson and has come to represent the fight for liberty and self-determination. The signing of a peace deal in 1783 marked the formal conclusion of the War of Independence, which had started in 1775. The Constitution and the creation of a new state. Following the conclusion of the war, American leaders convened in Philadelphia to establish a new system of governance. The United States Constitution, which was ratified by the Constitutional Convention in 1787, upheld citizens' fundamental rights and liberties and laid the groundwork for the federal system of government by allocating powers between the federal government and the states. The Revolution's aftereffects and global importance. The American Revolution became a symbol of the fight for freedom and democracy and had a significant influence on world history. Numerous people have been inspired to fight for independence and human rights by her principles and values. The American political ideology and society are still shaped by the Revolution, which emphasizes the need of defending citizens' fundamental liberties and rights. There are other facets of the American Revolution that should be taken into account. Influence of Enlightenment concepts. During the Revolution, political thought was greatly influenced by Enlightenment concepts, particularly those related to limited government, natural human rights, and the social contract. The writings of Enlightenment intellectuals like Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and John Locke had an impact on the revolutionaries and fueled their fight for liberty and independence. The American Revolution saw the active participation of women as well, despite the fact that their contributions were not always acknowledged. They supported the war effort, took part in boycotts of British products, and some of them even took part in fighting and spying. A few women, including Mercy Otis Warren and Abigail Adams, were instrumental in the founding of a new country and held significant governmental positions. The American Revolution had a profound effect on other nations, serving as an inspiration for revolutionary movements all around the world. For many countries hoping to be released from oppression and create democratic government, the Declaration of Independence's values of freedom, equality, and popular sovereignty have come to represent hope. Inheritable conflicts and difficulties. The American Revolution left unsolved problems like slavery and inequality in its wake, even as it brought about the founding of a new country and the values of democracy and freedom. These problems have given rise to fresh social and political disputes in the future, which will still have an effect on American politics and society.